Wagwan! Welcome back to another episode of Fit for Defense. I'm Kimi Sain. You can call me Mickey. With me today is Brayo, a fellow martial artist and stuntman. Today we are going to look into the chokehold. We're going to study different techniques of a chokehold, how to get out of one. Also, particularly the technique can be used to de-escalate a situation, meaning we will teach you how to get someone into it. Let's get to it.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
Technique number 1, single hand chokehold technique. This particular technique is mostly ego-oriented because in terms of power output, it's not as strong as the double-handed, but still, we find a way to get out of it. So here we go. Brian comes for the attack, goes for the neck. Now this posture, as we've mentioned before, is a mental posture for de-escalating the situation. Because as far as it goes, at this point the perpetrator should be able to understand physically that I am not looking to escalate this situation even more. But the whole idea is to have my hands close to him so that I can react. So what am I going to do? I will post up and I will break this posture. Now, note this. Breaking the posture involves hitting a line of weakness, which in our case will be the joint. It has to be fast and hard. This you might not want to do twice because if I do it the first time and it's not effective, then that gives him a reason to escalate the situation. That's not what you are going for. So, sharp movement, quick and hard. Boom. As you can see, breaking the posture brings his face close to you. At this point, you have a few options. You can just push off, hands in his eyes. The palm of your hand to his philtrum. All this really hurts. It will get you off. But what I like to do is apply a bit of pressure to the side of the neck, which happens to be a pressure point. If I hit him hard enough, he will pass out. If not, it should be effective to just distract him for a bit so that you can make your escape. Remember, our goal here is to escape, not to engage. So, from this point, I will post up, get that, break posture, and hit, and break off. Pretty simple. You should try it. Technique number 2, double hand frontal choke. Here we go. Brian goes for the hold. Now, we've actually discussed this particular technique before. Look at the placement of his hands, yeah? These 4 fingers against the thumb. In a previous episode, we discussed how to get out of a hand grab. And remember what we said. The monkey grip, which is the 4-finger system, is really hard to get out of. The thumb is the easier option, and it's all about leverage, not power. I can push this the whole day, or I can just put leverage against the thumb and get out. Same thing here, right? Even though it's both hands. So what are we going for? Post one leg behind. This is where you're going to shift your weight. You're going also to make a U-turn motion going towards the leg that's behind. Meaning, if I put my right leg behind, I'm making a U motion towards my right side. Same thing if I put my left leg behind, the U motion goes towards the left side. So this is simple, just wiggle out of it. Now remember, the main goal is to get out of the perpetrator's hold. So it's not about the exchange. You can use a few points for distraction like gouging the eyes, hitting the philtrum, hitting the throat. But the main point here is this, which gives you space between you and the perpetrator, enabling you to get away. Easy enough? You should try it. Technique number 3. This is the most common, really controversial. We know it as the ngeta, the rear chokehold. How do you go about this? So, Brian is here. I'm coming for the attack. This is highly dependent on spatial awareness, situational awareness, because different from these other two techniques, this one is coming from behind. You actually don't see the guy who is attacking you. So you really need to have very quick reflexes, because once it gets to a point where I have proper link between my arm and his gut, game is over. I have him at that point. The best way to achieve this is ideally through training, because you get to work on your reflexes. So Brand has trained long and hard enough for him to have enough reflexes to know by the time he feels me coming, he tucks in his chin. So now he has a bit of a fighting chance, because as we tag, I'll not be choking him out. But what we are trying to discuss is how to get yourself out of this particular situation. Now, from here, based on the previous episodes we've had, we've mentioned the line of weakness. So from here, Brian could go for my groin. Right? Simple enough. He could go for the stomach using the elbow. But if I'm strong enough, I am still here. So maybe that could help him loosen my grip by causing that bit of distraction if he hit me hard enough. But how does he get himself out of this position? One thing, if Brian moves his right leg behind him, he just locks himself even more. This does not work. Because why? Because I have a frame, right? So this side is a no-go zone. He cannot go that side. So back to my grip, he now moves his left leg and kind of turns to face me. And now all he needs to do is just push away. Like that, right? Again, remember, you're trying to do everything you can to save yourself. So if at this point Brian turns and my grip is still too tight, bite. Do what you need to do to get yourself out of that situation. Then you will see me now pushing him off. That works really fast, helps you to gain that distance from your perpetrator. Again, right side. So I will lock, right? He cannot move his left leg because it will just lock him further, right? What happens is he moves the right leg to turn and face me and push off, right? Simple enough. You should try it. On the same technique, remember as we said, it can be used to attack you or to defend. So how do you apply it properly if you have to defend yourself? Remember, sometimes it is situations whereby maybe you are security, you're trying to get someone off of you or someone off of a friend of yours. Your intention is not to injure them, but rather to de-escalate the situation. And unfortunately, sometimes it might need you to have them knocked out because they're too aggressive, maybe they're not sober, which is most common in maybe a club situation. This is what most bouncers do, right? So, proper way to apply a chokehold. I am not meant to go for Brian's gut. That leads to damage. That might lead to death. What I want to do is to cut the circulation of blood in his neck. And ideally, it takes 4 to 6 seconds until you're passed out. So if you do the technique properly, it shouldn't even tire you out. It's very effective when done right. So my arm right here goes right there. I want to make sure that my elbow is aligned with his chin. Thereby, my forearm goes to the side and my bicep goes to the side. So, like this. Right now, if I apply pressure, he should be feeling pressure at the side of his neck. Then the other hand comes in and grabs, right? Now, this is just to reinforce that hold. Then, looking at the side view right there, this hand does not go high because it allows Brian too much space to wiggle out, right? After this hand goes and posts up behind Brian. Now, I am using Brian's back as an anchor. So, the more he fights me, the more he's choking himself out. I just need to apply a little bit of pressure. Sometimes I dig in my head to force in, to have that force to the front so that I can just put him out even more quickly. So this is a proper technique. Remember, you're cutting supply of blood to the brain. That is through the side of the neck, your forearm and your bicep. Simple enough, you should try it. So that's it, guys. 3 standing chokehold techniques. Try them out. Let's get your feedback. If it's too difficult, don't worry about it. Keep on drilling it. Practice makes perfect. Till next time, stay fit.